Most people would finding their voice having to be to speak about bigger issues that across the world, like world hunger, or like I said before, racial discrimination or something. But doesn't even have to be more of that. It could be something of expressing your emotions, expressing your ideas, expressing your opinion on anything. And finding that voice could help a lot with people that may feel the same way that you do, but are in fear of expressing themselves because they fear that people will judge them, or just have that fear of speaking out. So this is why I think finding your voice is important. It's important to express yourself. It's important to have that emotion just to let people know how you feel about certain things, how you feel about certain issues that are you facing in life, because this could help people and it can help people express themselves more and more. How does these two books basically help me find my own voice as a poet myself, in a sense of how I should describe how I feel and what I can talk about. And finding my own voice when it came to poetry was more of like expressing how I feel about certain things, not really caring about what other people think of what I'm writing, but rather just expressing my emotion throughout it. And finding your voice is never easy, but it helps a lot with describing yourself. Finding your voice is basically expressing growth, expressing emotion, or expressing just your point of view of whatever you feel is important to you. And that is really important for people because some people may feel lost, some people may feel as though they can't express themselves as much as they want to express themselves. But it is important to actually express yourself because the hidden emotion that you have within yourself may cause a lot for you, may cause harm towards you. So once you find that voice within you and once you find that voice to express yourself, it builds character. It builds not I would say builds more knowledge, builds more for the people to just understand you more. The novel The Hate You Give by Andrew Thomas expresses police brutality and racial discrimination in America. This book gives voices to a lot of black teenagers, a lot of black people to just express how their daily lives would go in certain ways, and also expresses the small details of racial discrimination that they face when some people don't even notice that they saying something that's actually a bit offensive to another race. Now, this gives also a voice. This gives a voice to people that feel as if though they've been racially discriminated against, and also a voice for teenagers to express how the impact of what the livelihood, the way they grew up impacts their daily lives and impacts the way they think or the way they see the world themselves. And I would recommend this to a lot of people in a sense of reading it just to, if you do not understand how people being racial discriminated, or you maybe don't understand how people feel when they racially discriminated. But I think it's an important book that people need to read because that book really helps people express themselves more, helps to give ideas of how to handle racial discrimination that we may be facing around the world. Book Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo is basically about a teenage girl that basically goes through a lot. This book is written in poetry format, but it still expresses more. It tells a story the same way, each chapter telling different parts of the teenager's life. But this book raises voices for teenage girls who want to express themselves in certain ways or just express about the daily struggles and the daily amazement that they go through on a daily basis. This raises voices for teenage girls. This can give a voice for people that just want to explain how they feel or explain of what they're going through on a daily basis. And this can actually help people in a lot of ways to just express themselves. But the character, well, actually the poet, the author of the book, has built a foundation for people to express themselves, not having to just write down what they feel, but can also use poetry in a format of telling their story, telling their struggle, telling people on what have they gone through, what are they going through in any format. Why is it important to find your own voice? Well, this is important because it builds character. It builds you as a person. Finding your voice will be in different situations, like I said earlier, such as maybe going through difficult moments in your life, or there's something amazing that happens into your life and you use that moment to share your voice or to share growth. I would use myself as an example, as I have shared my voices whenever I write my own poetry, my own poems actually. You can express it in any other format. There's no limit to how you can express your own voice. Everybody can find their voice in different situations. Some people find it in difficult situations within their lives, but it's always about how you express it, which is important for us to find out for ourselves. But it can also be easier to find it once you read novels. For me, it was Poet X and The Hate You Gave.